Welcome back, guys. Equity Podcast. Berek here. All right, we're talking how not to eat all that Halloween candy. And this can be used for anything that's just wrecking your nutrition in general. But we just had Halloween last week, so I thought it was a pretty good one to use. So first I'm going to start with me and like where I was coming from and what I learned from, because that's how I learned it, and I think it can help. Where everybody's a little bit different, but everybody's a little bit same. I think it can help. First nutrition challenge I ever did, Coach Cam, CrossFit Salisbury. I had peanut butter and jelly every day for lunch. We had our first nutrition challenge. That's no good. And what I was telling a story about what I had for lunch. And it's like, well, I eat that every day. What am I supposed to do? Like, I couldn't even think of what to do. The other story I told myself during that time was, if it's in the house, I can't, I'm going to eat it. If it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. That is the story I told myself. So what I would do is just don't bring it in the house. And that is a very good strategy. However, when you live with other people, that is not a viable strategy. You have other people in the house with other goals, with other priorities, and you're not going to be able to set up. We want to set up our environment as best we can to set us up for success. And our environment is what molds us, one of the things that molds us. So we want to set us up for success as much as we can. However, we don't have complete control over that. There are other people, there's other circumstances in our lives. But there is something else we can control. And that is the story that we're saying in our head. The story that we tell ourselves. The story I was telling myself. If it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. I'm saying that. So what happens when I say that? If it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. What are some of the other stories that we talk around food and nutrition? What we see a lot of times is we have this binge, not binge, but we have these people, oh man, I got to get it. It's all in. I'm either all in or all out. So what we see, that whole month of October, nobody's eating candy. You're not eating any. And then Halloween hits, all the candy. I eat all of it. Or, you don't do anything in September, and then you buy that bag of candy and slowly start eating it, right? What is the story you're telling yourself when you see that bag of candy somewhere or see that other thing somewhere? I want that. I can't have that. I shouldn't have that. I can't have that. It's not going to help me towards my goal. I can't have that. I shouldn't have that. I want it, but I don't. I shouldn't have it. You see where, there's a lot of knots in that. When we have that type of story in our head, it's going to drain our willpower. And our willpower, we've talked about this before, is a limited resource. You only have so much of it. That's why generally people don't eat bad in the morning. They eat bad in the evenings because they've used up all their decision making, all their willpower throughout that day. They've made a million decisions throughout the day. They've gone to work and had to deal with people and answer questions and make decisions. You get home, running the kids around, answering questions, doing all of that stuff. You get home fuck it. I'm having some wine and some Kit Kats, right? You used up all that willpower. When we tell that story that I can't, I shouldn't, if it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. We're using up the willpower when we don't do those things. You're actively saying, no, I can't, I shouldn't, I shouldn't do all those things. So, how do we start? Is there something we can do to change that? And what I want to do is use case studies of other populations of people that we could use in our lives to help us out. we are so fortunate at the gym to have such a diverse group of people in their backgrounds. One that I've learned so much from vegetarians, and it's super helpful. People with gluten intolerances that are actually allergic to gluten, right? Celiacs and Crohn's, like people that have like diseases that restricts their diet, or people that have a life choice that they say they're not going to eat something. Vegetarians, or was it Episcopalians, or is that a religion? I don't know. Where you only eat fish, or whatever type, right? Why don't those people struggle with the foods they can't eat like we do with the foods that we don't want to eat? Why do we struggle and they don't? What can we learn from them? What can we take from them and use? And the answer is the story that they tell themselves. Now, the Crohn's and the celiacs and the gluten stuff, they don't have a choice. They can't eat those things. They can't eat carbohydrates or wheat. They can't eat those things. They're or people that are allergic to nuts, right? They just can't eat those things. If they do, they have bad consequences, right? Very bad things are going to happen. So what happens in their head? Oh, I can't eat, like I literally can't eat that. I don't eat those. Super helpful. They start changing their mindset. I find the vegetarians even more helpful, because it is literally, they are choosing not to eat a specific thing. They're choosing not to eat meat. So what are they saying in their head? I am the type of person that does not eat meat. I am the type of person that doesn't do that. So what happens when they see meat when they see a meat dish somewhere? Does it take away from their willpower? No. They already made that decision. They don't have to make it again. They see that chili cook-off with everybody there, and they're like, I guess I'm going to eat something else. Like, they don't even have to say no. They're not draining their willpower because they've already made the decision long ago. They made one big decision instead of 1,000 little ones. I am the type of person that doesn't eat Halloween candy. So, I told you that I was the type of person that said, if it was in the house, I'm going to eat it. And then with Halloween candy, I never had an issue with that for some reason. And I didn't realize it until a few weeks before this Halloween. I was taking a 4:30 class. Coach Cole and we were all talking and brought up Halloween candy, and Coach Cole was like, yeah, we bought candy for the kids, and I've been picking at it ever since we bought it. We're going to have to probably buy more or something along those lines. And everybody laughed, and it was funny. And I was thinking, like, wait a sec. I haven't even touched it. Like, we have a bag, we put it in the closet. I haven't even touched it. I didn't even think about it. No willpower drain at all. And I mentioned that in class, and Cole said, if it's in the house, I'm going to eat it. And this is not an indictment on Cole. It is a realization that just like popped in my head. I was like, I used to say the exact same thing. I still do. I've just started the process of trying not to say that. Cole and I came up through this CrossFit journey together. Like, she was our first member. Like, she's our longest reigning person within the gym, right? First one to 10 years. I said the same thing. She said the same thing. We're very similar. Cole and I have been very similar in our eating habits, actually. And I was like, holy cow. What? But, so we're very similar. Why is she having this issue and I'm not? And I didn't say I'm not having Halloween candy, but in my head, that candy was for somebody else. It's not for me. It was for the kids. So there was no drain there. I already made that decision. Every time I saw that bag, I didn't have to make a decision. I was like, oh, look, there's the kids' candy. It wasn't, oh, look, there's that candy I could eat, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to eat that. And then it's going to drain. And eventually I'd eat it, right? We always have a thing of candy on top of the refrigerator for Elle because, Halloween or Easter or, aunts and uncles and grandparents. And I never eat her candy. Why don't I eat that? Because it's her candy. There's no drain in my willpower. All right. So now, how do we use that? What's that food? Halloween candy. Hey, that's for somebody else. That's not mine. I don't eat that. I'm the type of person that doesn't eat Halloween candy. For me, it's chips. I like salty, I like crunchy, just all of them. We literally have 2 bags of chips downstairs in the pantry right now. In the past, they've been in there for about a week. In the past, they'd both be gone already. Without a question. I can eat a bag to myself, no issue. And they're still in there. Have I had some? Yeah. But I haven't gone back to it like I do. Those are for somebody else. They're not for me. I'm the type of person that doesn't have the bread at dinner. I'm the type of person that picks 2. Appetizer, meal, drinks, bread, right? Pick 2 of them when you go out to eat. Halloween night, you have one or 2 pieces with the kiddos, right? When you realize that the stories in your head, the actions that you're taking are not serving where you want to go, the easiest / hardest thing to do is to start changing those stories that you say in your head. When you start talking positively about yourself, when you start telling the right stories in your head, that's when actions start changing. And that's when progress can be made. I never thought I'd say this, but be more like a vegetarian. Tell those stories that are going to help you be successful, to be the type of person you want to be. Do the things, do the actions that the type of person you want to be would do. I hope this helps. And I appreciate you guys. That was a long pause. Awkward. Thank you. Cheers. Say no to the Halloween candy. Or say yes to a little bit. There's nothing wrong with a little bit here and there. But tell the right story. Cheers, guys.